Hi everybody, Razan here. I am going to just give you a little bit of feedback on how I felt about this project. It is still a running project, which means that I'm not even close to being done. And honestly, a big part of that is just the time frame. You know, the semester is kind of short, so in order to truly evaluate this type of tool in the classroom, I think takes a little bit longer. Sorry, my coffee maker. It takes a little bit longer than just a week or two. So, what I decided to do is to implement this into my curriculum starting this coming fall semester with the new cohort of students. And the way that I will be implementing it is, as I explained in the PowerPoint, it will be a two-part um, running assignment for their clinical time in the hospitals or in the outpatient setting. So every week they will have a particular assignment that involves uploading a vlog as well as completing a very short quiz that corresponds to that particular assignment. And then once they've done that for about 8 weeks, I'm going to have them evaluate the tool based on what their experiences with it has been. And then I'll also have them do it again at the end of the semester. And so my initial thoughts on this is I'm super excited to see how it's going to help my students with their clinical aspect. And also, I've heard some of the other instructors that I work with using this tool and finding it to be very helpful. So I definitely anticipate a very positive um, reaction and a very positive influence on the students' learning. But I'm also curious to see how it translates to the different learning styles. Because most of my students are non-traditional, they haven't been in college in a long time. A lot of them, barely know how to study just because they haven't had to use those skills in so long. So for me to implement something like this might be either a godsend or it could be just a super big hassle for them, depending on how good they feel about technology. The nice thing is that being in the field of radiology, most of the people who work in the field are tech savvy to a point because we have to be. It's just a part of our job and it's just something that we have to deal with on a regular basis. So I don't anticipate them having an issue with, you know, implementing this into their weekly work in the clinical setting. But students tend to complain, so I'm sure they're going to have something to say that's not very positive. Most of my concern is going to be with how it translates to them grasping the concepts, and I think that's going to take some time because I need to find ways to merge their objectives for the clinical course with the way that this app works. And I really like to kind of step out of the box a lot of times. And so even though I've heard some of my colleagues using it in the fashion that I've created, I think that it would be really nice to be able to come up with some better ways to implement this app in more creative aspects, maybe create group projects where students are coming together to create these videos and working together on possibly an assignment that they reflect on as a group. And I think that that's a really good way to implement that one of those four C's, which is communication, because we need to know how to communicate with each other. But a um, as a tool used for constructivist or constructionist style learning, I think this is a great tool because it gives the student that autonomy to kind of create their own or explain their own side of things, come up with their own conclusions, critically think through what they've done, and possibly kind of draw their own reflections that maybe help them see things from a different perspective that maybe I couldn't even do for them on my own. So I really think that this is going to be a fantastic tool to use. I'm looking forward to using it. Unfortunately, I don't have the data to support this because again, the time frame is very short. But I think that within the next 6 months, the data will be very reflective, positively reflective of this app, just from past, information from people I work with. So, anyways, that's all I have to say. Thank you.